Jai Gude, good evening everyone. My name is Sumeshwar. I welcome all of you on behalf of our Toppling organization to योग वाशिष्ठ इवनिंग सेशन। नमस्ते, मैं सोमेश्वर आप सभी का आर्ट ऑफ लिंक संस्था की तरफ से योग वाशिष्ठ के सायंकाल के सत्र में स्वागत करता हूँ। We'll begin our session by chanting Om 3 times. Today we are on 145th session. आज हम लोग 145वें सत्र में यहाँ पे पहुंच चुके हैं। Today's topic is that we are continuing to listen to something called as Avidya Akhyan. Avidya Akhyan is related to something called as ignorance in our life, that whatever is that we see around, it's full of ignorance. Right? So unless and until we are stuck into this ignorance, then we are not able to see the reality. We are not able to see the things as they are. So that is where this Akhyan, this Avidya Akhyan will help us, that how our mind is stuck into the outer world, how it wants to explore endless world. That is something which we get to hear here. And there are very beautiful takeaways in between the story of this king called Vipshchit Raja. We get to hear multiple knowledge points also. So we need to focus on those knowledge points. What is it, that nectar that we can extract from each such stories? And that is what we have been doing. For now, I welcome all our Zoom participants, all our Facebook viewers, and all our YouTube viewers to today's session. Let's continue our session by chanting Om 3 times. Let's sit comfortably. Spine erect. Shoulders relaxed. Neck straight. And let us bring back our attention to our breath. Observe the flow of breath. Breathe in and let go. Take one more deep breath and let go completely. Let us chant Om 3 times. Breathe in for the Om chanting. Let us invoke the divinity within. Avanam Avanam पुनः पुनः सच्चिदानंद रूपोऽहम् Shivoham, Shivoham, Shivoham. Let's express our gratitude towards the Guru Shakti. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Whatever the words that come out of this mouth, whatever the actions that are happening, whatever the thoughts over onto this mind and the power of discrimination that arise in our intellect, whatever the impressions that might be getting created onto our memory, and if still there is an iota of that I being, let all that be inspired by the Master alone. They like this. If you have already experienced that there is nothing that can bind us, it's the game of this chitta that goes on. Let this remaining life be inspired by the Master alone. Pray like this. Feeling the presence of the Master within and outside. Slowly and gradually. Gentle smile on your face. You may open your eyes. धीरे धीरे अपनी प्यारी सी आंखें खोल सकते हो. Jai Gurudev, let's continue with our today's session. We are looking at the story of Vipshchit Raja, the king Vipshchit. So he is the one who is leading the country called Tat. There is this on the corner in this entire Brahmanda, in this entire world. In one of the corner, there is this country called Tat. And in that country, there is this Vipshchit Raja. This king is there. And this king is very good. He is very good at heart. He is doing all the things that he is supposed to do. He is following all the rituals. He is protecting his country. But once upon a time, it happens like this, that or he is in one particular direction, that soldier, that minister who is leading that particular side of the country, he happens to get sick and die. Using this as an opportunity, all the enemies attack his country. And when he comes to know this, he is worshipping Agni, the fire. And he goes and he puts up the Havan, the Yagya, and then he decides that, okay, let me do these things, let me go ahead and go prepare myself now. But he thinks that, okay, I'm being done, all these things done, now let me offer my head to the fire. So that is what he does, and miraculously there, because of that, Agni offers him a boon. The 4 exactly duplicate of 4 Vipshchit comes into existence over there, and those 4 Vipshchits they go into the 4 different directions, and then they ultimately win the war. But after that, instead of coming back home, they start going on this journey, and there is this itcha, there is this wanting to know more about the world that comes into existence, and because of that cravings, they continue to go here and there. And in a study session, we saw that how they crosses across the ocean, they go into different, even the lifetime, they go into different species, they take birth, they die, they take birth, they die, yet they're wanting to know, they're wanting to explore. The world does not end, and they are continuously stuck into that thing only. So like this, these things continued, and they are still not back. They are still interested into their own life. So this is where the Vaashishtha Muni continues to tell Rama that we are into 123rd chapter here, called Avidya Akhyan, Vipshchit king. That's story number 2. And we are into 7th chapter of Nirvan Prakaran, that is liberation, into the Uttarradh. So there the Vaashishtha Muni tells that Rama, like this, the one who has gone into the east side, when that Vipshchit Raja got cursed by, then the other person, that other Vipshchit Raja, he comes, and he when he was almost spent 70 years of his life becoming a tree. So the other one, the one who has gone into the west side, that Vipshchita comes back, and then the one who has cursed that Vipshchit, that one who is gone into the east direction, he praises him, and he convinces him, and then he basically does the seva. Using all the things, he ultimately makes him free. So that Raja who has become a tree, he makes himself free from that yoni. The one who has gone like this, the one who has gone into the east direction, he becomes the curse free, and he comes back. Like that, it continues that the one who has gone into this Paschim, this western side of the things, that particular one who has become into the because of that Pishacha, because of that thing, he has become into the take the form of the stone. He has become the Shila, again because of the curse. Like that, the other one, the one who has gone into the south, he comes back there, and he helps and makes him free from that. So like this, the one who has got into the different species, one has become the Yaksha, the another one has become Bullock, and the another one has become into the lion. Like this, they are stuck. Whenever they did, the other one will come, and they will help each other, and they will make them free. Like this, they will come, and then they will continue to explore again. They'll be stuck in. So by listening to this is where Rama asked a question that Bhagwan, this Vipshchit is there. This Raja was, they were all, they had all these powers, right? They used to walk on the ocean. They used to go here and there. Many times, many people tried to kill them. They did not. They had all these powers. But then, despite of that, how come they got cursed like this, and they become that Pashana or that stone? They become, one of them become tree like this, and some of them even got into these different species of animals, etc. How come that happened? How is that? How did that happen? So this is where Vaashishtha Muni gives him, he explains him that he says that Rama, whatever I told you, that is, even though that is true, all these Vipshchit kings, they had these siddhis, they had these powers. They, using the yoga samarthya, they achieved those powers because of their tapascharya, and because of the boon that was offered by the fire to them. They had this, but yet they were not had that Atma-jnana. They were not yet self-realized souls. Because of that thing, it was not that they were completely ignorant. It wasn't the case. They were walking on the path. They were work in progress model, but yet they have not yet achieved that self-realization. And because of this above the drishti, because of this incomplete knowledge of the things, they despite of having those powers, yet they were not self-realized. Because of that only they were stuck into the outer world and never got within themselves. That is what were happening. Because of that only they were stuck into this bondage of that thing, and because of that manodharana, whatever that will come to their mind, they kept on following that and kept on exploring things. But is there a limit for that? There is no limit. This is unlimited. It's just like the Brahman which is unlimited, just like that Shivasthiti which is unlimited in nature. Like that, this Maya, this delusion, this avidya also infinite in nature. How is it possible for one to go and explore that? Because your ability to know is very limited. Your ability to travel is very limited. How will you know something which is infinite in nature? But they are not realizing this fact. So he continues to explain, because of this dharana, because of this yoga, they definitely become the dharana yogi. They definitely become the dhyana yogi, but they will not attain that knowledge. They have not yet attained that atma jnana. They have not self-realized that soul. Because of that only, they were continue to stuck in this, and they were continuously traveling like this again and again, but yet they never experience that trupti, that contentment that is within, that trupti bhav, that ananda. Because of that, they continue to travel like this. So this is what happens, that if someone does all the different yoga, pranayama, all these things, and they probably achieve the siddhis, some powers. But if they have not gone back to their own source, they have not really got back to that self-realization till that point of time, that atma vichara, that atma chintana, that fulfillment in your life, that contentment in your life will not come to you. So like this is the main difference between the one who are self-realized, that jivan mukta, the one who is there in this body, yet they are free, enlightened soul in them, and the ignorant person. This is there, that the one who is self-realized soul, when they are doing their day-to-day routine work, they are aware this body, they are aware about these things. But the moment they go into the samadhi, it is exactly like a vidya. It's as if their body doesn't exist. They are completely with them, complete with themselves. It is being with your own self, with your own atma, being with your own self. That is the thing. That is the condition these jivan muktas will experience. So they'll continue to do their actions. So because of that, the one who is in bondage, they are the one, that bondage is not yet relieved. So what is it that bondage, and what is it that mukti? What is it that liberation? What is it that moksha? Obviously that question comes into your mind. So he says that the baddha, the one who is in bondage, that baddha cannot bind atma. Can atma be bound? No, atma or that self can never be bound. It is free anyway. So what is it then bound? What is it that bandhan, that bondage one experience? So that is at the level of chitta. That is at the level of your mind. Buddhi, intellect. Chitta is basically buddhi, intellect, mind, man, smriti, your memory, and your ego sense, that ahankara. So that using all these four, that chitta is there. So that chitta is the one really gets stuck into multiple concepts, multiple imaginations, into the vikaras, tendency, vrittis to go outward, into the attraction of this world, into those vishaya. Vishayas are those five senses and its outgoing tendencies. They are called vishaya. So they are the real one that gets stuck. But the atma, the soul, that chidatma, is not. This baddhata, this bondage is the nature of your chitta, mind. But the nature of your dharma, of your atma, is already moksha. It's already free. So once you are aware about this, the one who are mukt, the one who are free, while doing their day-to-day routine work, they do have an awareness about their dehavastha, their body. Yet they will continue to do all the actions as if the normal human being would do. They will get hungry, they will eat food, and all the dharmas, all the things that that body level activities, they will continue to do. They will even go and they will become old. Old age is also will take over them. Everything, all these things are exactly all the things, this karma, vritti, everything will be like the ignorant one. But the only thing that is there is that chitta dharma is not applicable to them. That chitta, that one which really creates that bondage around, that chitta dharma is not applicable to them, and that all the characteristics, all the guna dharmas of that chitta, they are free from that. They have, using the practices, using the atma, that atma jnana, using that thing, they are able to relax themselves with themselves. Because of that, that chitta is no longer bonding them. So they have crossed over that thing which was bonding like that. And if you see it from the perspective of Shastra, this situation, this sthiti itself is called as moksha. Shastra says that once you are able to transform your mind, that chitta, from the rajas tamas gun leaving behind, brought it back into the sattva gunas, they have transcend that mind, that amana, when the mind is not there, amana, that is what is then the peace. That is aman means shanti. That is what is called as peace here. That is why we can say how you are that peace, you are that love, you are that knowledge, you are the source of that knowledge, you are joy. Where are you looking for? You are that. This self-realization dawns in them, and because of that, they are not going outward. It doesn't mean that they are not traveling. Probably someone is there and who is in the job of traveling only. They will travel. That's okay. But now not wanting something out of it. It will be just an action that will be performed, not wanting anything out of it. That wanting, that craving, that is dropped. That is completely dropped. Because of that only, they are not having any impressions about sukha and dukkha. They will just go through it. That bandhan is not there. That bondage is not there. It is that mind that experiences this sukha and dukkha, and it experiences those dvandva, that duality. They are free from this. No? That is what is this Chaitanya is free from this bandha and moksha. That is that swabhava of Chaitanya is to be free. It is free, already free. So according to Shastra, this is what is the mukti. So you have to make yourself free from the bondage of this chitta. Then you can really experience your own self. And that is what is mukti. That is what is moksha. So if you see that chitta, which is inside, is peaceful, completely cool, that is what is called as mukta. And if that chitta is into all the vikaras, it is stuck into all the vishayas, it is stuck into the cravings, vasanas, lust, all the different tendencies, then it is already bound. No, it is stuck into only those things. We need to make that free from these bondage. Then you will become there. And at the mukta, at the level of free, realized soul, this sukha, dukkha, all this dvandva, this duality, or all this pulling into two different directions, that will be not there. No, they will be free from all these things. So like this, the one who has attained this, the one who has self-realized this, like that Ishvara, or like that Ishwari Vibhuti, they are their karyas, their actions, they are just like that Jivan Mukta. They are into, despite of their like enlightened masters, just like that Janardhan, that one which is the Vishnu Swarupa is called Janardhan, that he does all these things. Yet he comes here, he takes the incarnation, he does all the things, he even kill the demons that point of time, like that, and he even sees his own death, and he one more time, whenever it is required, he again comes back here. That is where we saw that concept of incarnation, right? So that is how they do, and then, but yet in all these things, they do not leave that Jivan Mukta Sthiti. They do not leave, that awareness is never gone, that they are the soul, they are the Atman. That Atma Jnana is always there with them. And like that, this Surya, Chandra, Agni, Ityadi, or in all these vibhutis, how they perform their day-to-day routine activity, like completely simple, pure. No, they continue to do that, or their actions like that action, this Jivan Mukta will also do. That is where even the people like Shukracharya is there, and the Bruhaspati. Both of them, one is helping the demons and one is helping the gods. Yet both of them are mukta because they are just doing their prarabdha karma, like that. So like this has been said, like, so then Vasishtha Muni comes back to the story, what happens with those Vipshchita, say that because of this craving, because of this wanting to do something, because of this wanting to explore the things, even after the death, all these Vipshchita, even after the death, because of that vasana, because of that thing, that vasana deha, means that subtle body, that chitta akasha, that chitta, the shari, that sukshma sharira, Ativaik Sharir is what we call, using that they kept on traveling. That is what is being explained here in detail. Like that, they kept on traveling throughout the world. They went here and there, even they transcend this earth also. They went into the space. Some of them got into different things. So that is all explained here because of that pure vasana. So unless and until one does not drop this chitta and its activities and tendencies of going outward, there is no mukti, there is no moksha. You'll continue to experience same thing again and again and again and again, and again you'll take birth, again you'll die, again you'll take birth, again you'll die, and you will continue to entangle into this maya, this delusion. That is what is avidya. So that is what it happens. That is how it is. So like that, if you see it from the perspective of these, despite of their body is diminished, yet these Vipshchita was continuing to look for more and more and more and more, and they continued like that. So in this Brahmand, that in that thing, so even they started now crossing. Even earlier we saw they were all traveling on the earth and they were all taking different things, but they even crossed back. No, they left this even earth behind. They started traveling into the different koshas of this Brahma. They started exploring with that Ativaik Sharir, with that subtle body. They started crossing even this. So they go, they see the Brahmanda, they see the other ends of the Brahmanda. Like that is, they continue to explore like this. But does that end? It never ends. So there is no, it is infinite world. So if it is infinite world, it is infinite, that avidya delusion is there. It is infinite in nature, and that never ever ends, and they continue to explore this like this. But this srishti, that this world which is created by this ati sukshma avidya, which is there everywhere, like that in the Brahmanda, it is there in that Shabal Brahmanda. That Vipshchita continued to go explore that. No, yet his uddesha of that wanting to see these things, it does not die. They continue to explore like this, and then here Vasishtha Muni explains that one of them, like that, the one who has gone into that Chandraloka, that moon, and the one who has become the moon itself, that he again comes back and he sees that there is one deer, and he comes into the form of that deer and he's exploring it. And that is where the Vasishtha Muni says that in your garden, that deer is there. That deer is nothing but that one of the Vipshchita who is there in your garden, and he has come in the form of that deer here. So like this means idea of this story is, see, after traveling so much, going here and there, ultimately what has happened, that Vipshchit Raja has come into the form of that Mruga. It is coming to the form of that deer. So you listening to this, all the one who were there in the court, they really were wonderstruck. Means how can the things happen? No, how can this? How can one get stuck so much into this world that despite of going through, despite of looking through all these things, yet they are completely stuck into such a thing. So that is where today's chapter concludes here. Tomorrow there will be another chapter called 124th chapter. It will continue. And then this, how does this Vipshchit Raja then continue to that in the form of deer, and what happens to that? Then how does he recollects his previous births? After that, what happens? No? All these things that will unfold tomorrow. But for today, we'll take a pause here, and then tomorrow and day after tomorrow, we'll see. Tomorrow probably we'll conclude this. There will be 2 chapters. that we'll be covering tomorrow. Let us see how that unfolds tomorrow. But for now, I'd like to take a pause. I'd like to hand over this session to you. If you have any questions, you are welcome to ask. If you'd like to express yourself, your takeaways and learning from today's session, you are welcome to do that also. So the unmute option is already available here. You are welcome to unmute yourself, and you are welcome to share whatever you feel like. Or if you have any question, you are welcome to ask that also. Jai Gurudev. Ajay, anybody like to express themselves or have any questions? You are welcome to do that. If not, then we'll end this session.
Yeah, Jai Gurudev Bhaiya. I am Uma.
Boli. Go ahead, Maj.
Yeah, like Vipshchit Raja took the form of deer. Is there any human who left the body is also will take the body of a animal, or like how the next birth will be for a human? Is it related to their karma? Anything like that? Or their chitta when they are dying at the time of death? It is related. Can you explain me, please?
So that's a very good question, Umaji. And to understand that question, we really need to understand the death first. So that itself is a miracle. One of the rahasya, right? Death is a miracle. So how it is, if you see it from the perspective of Yog Vaashishtha here, how the death is explained here, we need to understand the Utpatti. Creation will help us to understand the destruction also, the death also, right? So how does this entire world is created? It is created in the form of that Chaitanya, that awareness. What is it called? We call that as a Brahman, Shiva, or with many various different names. So what that is, we don't know. We don't know, so we address it with some name for our sake of understanding. And how does we address it? We address it, oh, it is Adi, Anadi, Ananta, infinite in nature, because we don't know what the truth is, right? So we address it something which is infinite in nature. That infinity, that infinity, once upon a time, just like that, it as the wave appears into the ocean, like that, it wants to express itself. Why? There is no answer for that. There is no reason for that. Just like that. Is there a reason for why the wave arises and subside? No, there is no reason. So like that, just like that, that spuran is coming to picture, that wanting to express. So it feels separate from itself, that I am somebody separate, and then it takes the form of the Chidakasha. So that is what called as first spuran, that comes into thing is something called a Chaitya. So that Chaitya means that Vasana, that thing, or that Chaitya is basically called as spuran. Not even Vasana, it just says spuran, some spuran that comes into picture. It's just some spandan, some vibration that comes into picture that I want to express myself. So it takes the form of the Chidakasha. Okay. Now in that Chidakasha, it takes the form of a, let's say, Brahmadeva. Just for the sake of understanding, it takes the form of the Brahmadeva. Nothing is actually created, but just to express that in the Chidakasha, it takes the form of the Chitta. Okay, some Chitta Akash. Let's assume that Chitta is of that, is nothing but that Chitta Akash, that Chitta Akasha is created. So Chitta of the divinity is nothing but that Chitta Akash. Okay. Now, once the Chitta comes into picture, all the four elements come into picture. That Aham comes into picture, Smriti comes into picture, the mind comes into picture, and the intellect comes into picture. So using that Chitta, now it start imagining, it start expressing itself, right? So it is that expression of that is assumed that the form of the Brahmadev. which using the Chaturbhuj Brahmadev, it assume, it kalpana hi hai. It imagines like that, okay, Brahmadev is there. Now Brahmadev is going to, that he is the creator of this world, so he will create the world. So that Brahmadev, whatever he is, another just imaginated body there. Nothing exists as such. In the Chidakash, he appears, and then that Brahmadev inside the Chitta. So when we say that something is Brahmadev, Brahmadev also have all the things, right? He has that body, physical body. He has that Chitta. Brahmadeva Chitta is also there. Everything, as we say, our 7 layers, it is all applicable to Brahmadeva also. So now that Brahmadeva inside his Chitta Kasha imagines in this entire world. Okay, so that is where the earth comes into picture, all the 5 elements come into picture, using the Pancha Tanmatra comes into picture, and then even the jivas like us, the life comes into picture. So we have our exactly the same process which happened at the Chidakash, happened with the Brahmadeva, is now happening with also. We also gets into that Aham Bhavana, that I am something separate, and then our Aham comes into picture. Our own Chittakash comes into picture, and our own Chittakasha, this using the Pancha Tanmatra 5 senses and the Pancha Mahabhuta 5 elements, we assume this body. It's a dharana. Nothing, this body is actually not created. It is just the dharana of your Chitta. Just like a dream. We got into this Jiva Bhava, right? So this is the creation that happened. Now let's reverse the story now. Now that will be very obvious for you to understand what death is, right? Let's reverse the story. Okay, this Jiva is there now. Probably he has become old, whatever. And then this body, that have happened. But during this lifespan, you were continuing to do some actions, and using those actions, you are forming some impressions, either via your actions or your inactions, by somebody else's action or their inaction, or the situation or the people, or because of the things that you possess, you got entangled into it, you got stuck into those vikaras, shandripus, kama, krodha, lobha, mada, moha, matsara, the greed, entanglement, pride, anger, etc. So outgoing tendencies of your chitta get stuck into the people, situation, all these things. Because of all that have happened, some sanskaras that form into you, that is called as your karma. Impressions inside your smriti is called as your karma. Now, because of this karma, there is some accumulation that have happened. That is called as your prarabdha karma. Because of that prarabdha karma, at your subtle body, you are carrying those sanskaras, you are carrying those vasanas. They are called vasanas. Cravings, ichchas, vasana. The unfulfilled vasana, the unfulfilled ichchas, or these cravings. What happens? This sharir, this body will drop. So when the moment your body drops, you come at the level of chitta akasha. You come back to your own chitta, not the chidakasha, your own chitta. So like this, I have my own chitta, you have your own chitta. Everybody, every jiva on this planet have their own chitta. So that chitta, what will do, depending upon these sanskaras, the karmas, as you rightly said, is it dependent on the karma, that next birth? Yes, it is dependent on those karma. This chitta will be, some point of time, will be forced to experience something, or else it will assume its own new life. Both way, to pay for the what has been happened according to the laws of karma, or its own will because of the vasanas. That there's also another element, just at the time of death, when your prana is leaving your body, whatever is the last thought, that whatever you are entangled into it, you will assume that immediately into the chittakasha. Here the body is died, you will assume the new body in your next life. So that is what is the process of that is called as kalana. So this is the transformation that is happening. So actually at the chittakasha, you are not died yet. Your chitta is still there, and you are taking a new body. And that continuously, life after that, this vicious life cycle of death, this is called as samsara. and you are stuck into the samsara. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well explained. Thank you. Very good.
Jai Gurudev. Anybody else have any question or any takeaway that you would like to express? You are welcome to do that. Yeah, anyone else has any question or would you like to contribute anything, any takeaways? You are welcome to do that. If not, then we'll end this session. Okay. Okay, then we'll conclude this today's session now. Jai Gurudev. Let's see you tomorrow.
Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev.